Hey, it's Glenise. Listen, I've been asked questions on 3 different topics that really are related topics. The first one asks about the song that I did, I Am Redeemed. They want to know the chords that were played, and they want to know how I can keep the sequence in the timing that the song is played, right? Second person wants to know about triads. They want to know an in-depth teaching on triads and how they can be used in, I guess, in songs or outside of songs or however. Third person wants to know about double stops, okay? Now, let's first talk about something that will draw them all together, right? Back in about 20 years ago or more than 20 years ago, we built our home here where we live. And in the home, as the house was going up, we would come to visit the site over and over again because we were so excited, right? The first week we went, not much was done, right? A few weeks later we came and they had begun the foundation of the house, right? So what they ended up doing is going, level ground is here. They ended up going way down into the ground, putting these heavy metal posts up and putting all of this stuff, and you look down on the ground, you could literally fall down in there and hurt yourself, right? So I asked my husband, I said, how is it that they're going so deep into the ground? And he said, listen, in order to support the structure going up, you've got to go down deep so that the house will be supported. The walls have to be supported with a firm foundation, right? I find that to be true in music as well. Listen, if you're going to be playing an instrument and playing a song, there's so much more to it than just knowing the chords to the song. You got to know what that chord is saying. Have to know how to spell that chord, okay? So that is your foundation to the triads, which someone wants to know. What are triads? How can they be used? All right, let's do a song that I had done before, which the gentleman wants to know what the chords are, all right? In the key of A flat. All right? This chord that I am making, this is A flat major chord, all right? 6 strings, right? Now, I can make that A flat with 4 strings. Like, name that soon. Can you name it in 1 note, 2 note, 3 note? I can make that same chord in 4 notes using my E, B, G, and D strings. Just those 4 strings. That is an A flat chord, right? That is an A flat chord. I can even make that chord using just 3 strings. Just my E, my B, and my G string. Same chord. Okay, that is an A flat chord. Well, you say, well, what makes it an A flat chord? Again, all signs point back to the major scale, right? We've gone over major scale 100 times, right? The major scale for the key of A flat. That is the major scale for the key of A flat. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay? Now, in that major scale, you will find the triad for the key of A flat. You say, well, what is a triad? The triad is the 1st degree, the 3rd degree, and the 5th degree of the major scale, right? So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we want the 1, 3, and the 5 of that major scale, and that gives you the triad for the key of A flat, right? So how many ways can we make it? We can make it multiple ways. Let's just do one to keep it simple. If this is the key of A flat, listen, you're going to use your E string. That's your 1 because that is the key. that we are playing in. Then you're going to use your B string in that same fourth fret. That is your 5, right? If we go through the scale, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Got it? So the 1, the 5, and then the 3 on your G string in your 5th fret, right? So we got 1, 2, 3. Got it? So now we got the 3, the 5, and the 1. That is your triad. That is the foundation for the A flat chord. Got it? Now, you say, well, why are you using 6 strings if you can just do it in 3 strings and just 3 notes? It's only 3 notes that make up the triad. That is so true. But listen at this. When you're making the full 6-string chord, guess what? It is still a triad. You say, how can it be a triad with 6 strings? You know how? Because 3 notes only are included in that 6th string. Some of the notes you're playing 2 times, some of the notes you're playing 3 times. And then the 3 you're only playing once. Look at this. Here's your 1, right? On your D string, and then on your E string, you're playing that 3 times. Those are octaves of that A flat, A flat, A flat, A flat, right? All right, that's the 1. Then you got your 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, then you got 5. That's on your A string, and on your B string down here, that's your 5. Twice. You're playing your 5 twice. You're playing your 1 3 times. And then you got the middle finger, that's your 3. Right? So we still only have 3 notes, but they're all covered in 6 strings. You see? So that makes the chord sound a lot fuller, and especially if you're playing by yourself, that gives you that leverage, right? Make you sound so full, sound like you don't need any accompaniment because you got the bottom and you got the top and you got the middle, right? All in one chord. So triads then, as a summary, are made up of the 1st degree, the 3rd degree, and the 5th degree of the major scale. And that is in every key. If I wanted to go to my 4, that would still be the triad, right? Triad, the 3, the 1, the 3, the 5 in that key. That 4 is my C sharp, right? Same as just another variation, another interval of that C sharp, right? But it's still my 1, my 5, my 3, but done in all 6 strings in the same here. Okay, you get it? So I don't care what key you're playing in or what key you're transitioning to, that triad 1, 3, 5 is used. Okay? You've got to understand that that's the foundation of chord building. Okay? If I want to do A flat 6, I just added what? My pinky, which is my 6, right? Got it? You see? That is how you build on your chords, okay? You got to know your foundation first. So learn that 1, 3, 5 in every key, right? Every key, every change in every song, right? You can do the 1, 3, 5 and you have the perfect chord, all right? Now, let's talk double stops. People want to know, how do double stops? First of all, what are double stops? Double stops are diads. They're 2 strings that blend in a chord, right? So if I'm doing the A flat chord, a dyad, and there are multiple dyads in every chord, right? Every key. If I did a dyad or a broken chord, a chord fragment, a double stop, it's all the same. I could use my 3rd string and my 1st string. This hand I'm not using a pick at this moment, but I'm using the 3rd string and the 1st string. That's 2 strings out of that 3-string triad, right? I'm only using 2, so it's not a triad anymore. Tri means 3. So if I use, I'm using just the 1 and the 3, right? Okay, that is a diad. That is what a double stop is. You want to know if you can play it over major chords and minor? Yes, you can play over both. This is the major. See, you just find 2 blending notes within a chord, and you can use those 2 and play over either your major just 2 string, right? That's a 2 string over the minor, right? Just find any 2 blending notes within the chord, and you can use them to play in your song.